Okay, we're just coming up to Chilcombe Bottom now. And what is all the excitement about that here, you're asking? Well, hang on, there we go. The Ballardian crashed van, sort of thing, you know, urban explorers like. Gives it a bit of mythic resonance. So yeah, so it's saying what's so great about Chilcombe Bottom? It's got a very interesting little architectural feature which is just coming into frame now. Now, Chilcombe Bottom used to be a reservoir serving Bath many years ago. So we'll have a look. Now it's a managed wetland. It is on private land, but there is public access. And it was sort of rebooted as a wetland for wildlife. 20 odd years ago, there was a bypass built on our side of Bath, and some of the sort of materials in that were used to construct what you'll see here in terms of the wetland. So I always think this must have been where the sort of guy or guys who managed the reservoir hung out and had their tea breaks and what have you, and did their maintenance work. And it's a really interesting little little building, as you see. So get ourselves up the steps here. I come in here a lot. It's usually pretty quiet. Absolutely beautiful. Protective wildlife area, treated with respect. Quite right. And it's managed by Wessex Water, which is very good. So I'm just going to get the gate open and pop through. There we are. Shut the gate behind me and give you a proper view. So here we are, Chilcombe Bottom. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. We're in the eye of the sun here. Let's just get out of the eye of the sun and I'll show you this little building from behind, encrusted with moss. Very characterful little building this, I always think. This is probably where I fall over. There's the road we've just been around. Just do a 180 again. Watch it on trip. Okay. You can hear the water coming through here. And of course there are people. Typical. So we'll stop in a moment and come back to this in a second. Almost everywhere you go in Britain today you bump into people, and of course they're usually middle-aged like me. Bath's one of those areas where loads of people are retired at 50, and you know, I'll say no more about that really. Here we go. So there's an amazing nest box here, and again we're right in the eye of the sun. I always think that must be for raptors or for owl or something. So take it down, and so it's mid-November. I can see a couple of mating dragonflies here this late in the season. I don't know if you can see them there, and there's another couple just zipped in front of my face. There you go. You'll see them in the centre of the frame this late in the year. Incredible. There's a lovely clear water here. There are several of them around. Absolutely beautiful. See them zipping across the frame. Lovely. So yeah, so this is Chilcombe Bottom. Very, very nice indeed. Lovely, wet, marshy space. See there's lots of horsetails here. Throwback to the Devonian and Carboniferous period. squashed down and their billions of tons then turned into coal. Of course, I come from a coal country. Both my grandfathers were miners, and of course coal is no good. It's it's a problem with climate change, that sort of thing. Of course, if we didn't have such a high population and hadn't had such a high population, we could probably have avoided most of the climate change, industrial revolution or not. But sadly, mankind is pretty forsummed. And there's that nest box. And keep going. I can do a kind of circular walk around here, so I'm going to take through it. Yeah, so this was sort of abandoned for years. I'm not sure what was here exactly before Wessex Water took it on, but they manage it now, and they do a great job, as you can see. Fantastic for wildlife. And we've got stream running through it to say this used to be a reservoir. And they're the horsetails. Cycads, the plants on the age of the dinosaurs. I do love horsetails, remind me of home, because in front of the cottage where I lived, there was the cutting for the old railway station, and that gradually flooded when the trains went, and started to get lots of water down there, and there's lots of amphibians and invertebrates and birds, and there were lots of horsetails. It always reminds me of where I grew up. It's all a bit Lovecraftian, really, isn't it? Just imagine that it's like this in Lovecraft's Massachusetts, lots of sort of like dark foreboding country and marshes and wet things. Just get the kids excited. Old H.P. Lovecraft, they love it. That was brave. I actually jumped the stream then. I haven't done that for a long time. Admittedly, it's not very wide, but I didn't film it because, of course, if I had, I inevitably would have sploshed. So here we go. I'm going to show you Chilcombe Bottom from the other side. Past the horsetails. Lovely. I should have brought some dinosaurs down and popped them amongst them, just about the lost world. First book I ever bought in paperback, first adult book I ever bought in paperback. John Murray edition, circa 1969, 1970, still got it at home. Yeah, there we go. Of course, obviously all this is water. You're seeing lots of reeds, but there's all water beyond there. And we seem to have lost the other visitors, which is nice. As you can tell, I'm complete misanthrope, me. But I like individuals, so I just hate people. I think it's that thing where the road is so crowded and we see so much of people, and most people are fine, but you do sometimes weary of there always being people everywhere you go. Which is why, to me, an overpopulated world is a vision of horror, and this is why environmentally it's something I bang on about. So I still think it's the answer to solving our problems, to bring the population down to have proper, managed birth control and things like that. So here we are. Absolutely lovely. I enjoy it every time I come over here, even on a grey day. Today's particularly nice. So I'm glad it's decided spontaneously just to take a toddle over here with a camera and show you what's what. There we go. There's that marvellous building again. Look at that, isn't that great? Fantastic. Of course, then you get the gate open, which is really typical. Was I just saying about people? There you go. So that's Chilcombe Bottom. I'm going to close the gate behind me as I go out, as those other people should have. Draw the bolt. There we go. Right, we've got a close-up of that as I toddle down these steps. Another opportunity to fall. They're marvellous. Look at that. They don't build them like that anymore. That's texture, isn't it? So there we go. Time to head for home. I think it's probably about time for a coffee and a chocolate biscuit. except of course I haven't got a chocolate biscuit because I ate them all yesterday. So anyway, this is Out and About with Outlaw Bookseller. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope to show you more things in and around Bath soon. And I'm going to sign out now. Perhaps I should come down here and do a reading of The Shadow over Innsmouth or something like that. Something eldritch and wet. Something subaqueous. And then again, maybe not.